I lost my sight, or most of my sight, from a helicopter crash. They said, "Oh, we're going to throw you out because you're going blind. You know, you're definitely going to go blind." So Mary and I had a lot of thinking to do, what to do. So I was busy looking for jobs. Applied to Trillis Hospital as, you know, transport manager and all this sort of stuff. Why are you leaving the army? You know, blah blah blah. As soon as you said you're going blind, no one wanted to know you. So we said, we can't do anything like that. Can't get a job. We can't be honest and get a job. So what we'll do, we'll have to find somewhere to do bed and breakfast, and I'll try and find a job when we're there. And that was it. So we started looking. I said, we'll go to the West Country and we'll look. Generally, we'll just look and we'll work our way down. Such a long walk to the hotel. And then we came up here and saw this lovely lady, Mrs. Gill, who was just like Mrs. Tiggywinkle. And she came down the path to meet us. Everything was just totally overgrown, and it was fantastic. The place was, you know, just like it everywhere was in those days. You know, poor electrics, poor everything, you know, damp everywhere, which they still are. Cottages. And it was great. We loved it. We loved the whole place. So we went from here down to the pub. Marion said, "I love the cottage." And I said, "I love the pub. It's a deal. Let's try and get it." I'm going to have a tribute, aren't I? Yeah. Please, thank you. Because being ex-military, when you get moved around from A to B to B to C, the only place you're going to meet anybody, anywhere, is in a pub. It was Craig Bradford who said, we both listened to the first marathon in '81 on the radio, separately, you know. And I met him down at the newsagents when it was down the square there where the flower shop is now. And he said, "That was good. Did you hear that?" And I said, "That was fantastic." He said, "Should we do it next year?" And I said, "Okay. But we better train a bit." And that's how we treated it, like, oh, we'll go and do it. You know, it was only a jaunt, like 26 miles. And we didn't start training. Time we'd entered and all the rest of it and got it back, we didn't start training until the 6th of January. But we did it. We did it in under 4 hours, just. But we swore blind we'd train a lot harder in the future.
Having met Gerry when I moved to the village here as a local policeman, Gerry expressed an interest in running. I was a keen runner at the time, so he rang me and asked me if I would accompany him on some training runs with a view for him entering the London Marathon. This was 1985, and together with another friend of ours, Bob Gay, who's a plumber from the village here, we set out to train probably 5 days out of the 7 of the week.
Yeah, yeah.
Gerry was attached to me with a long piece of elastic. He would wander all over the road, and I'd have to reel him in as we trained. But we successfully ran probably 40 to 50 miles a week for probably 3 months before the race. And then in 1985 we entered the London Marathon and did a very respectable time of 3 hours 2 minutes. Very memorable for Gerry because as we crossed the line, Gerry collapsed, and as he went down, the St John's ambulance came in with a stretcher which was on wheels, and he fell straight onto the stretcher and was whisked off. You and me.
Yeah.
And then the bottom one is you and Bob sat down. Bob's got his silver foil blanket on.
Yeah.
And you look like, well, I don't know what you
look like. Look death. Death. It would give you water, wouldn't it? Didn't give me anything.
I remember you said all they kept wanting to do was stick bagfuls of ice down in shorts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think they got a kick out of that.
And you were shouting out, "Where's Mo? Where's Mo?"
Mo, yes, where's Mo?
Like they thought you're delirious.
Yeah. Probably thought I was saying, "Where's Mother?" And we did the Land's End Marathon, which I did with Colin Douglas and Trevor Coleman, who used to be headmaster at Richard Lander. And we did that one there. And the Land's End one was tough marathon, really tough marathon. Dublin was lovely, flat as a pancake, bit like London really, Lovely, good weekend. But the rest were all Londons, 16 Londons. Yeah, good.
So what exactly is crab?
Cornwall Rowing Association for the Blind.
And you started this?
I started it along with two other guys, Richard Pryor, who then used to live in the village. His wife Judy still lives in the village. And another chap called Tony Webb, who's totally blind. Been blind since he was 3. He lives up in Bude. And we decided we'd do it in 1999 when the eclipse was coming on, as a PR exercise. To come running out of the darkness into the light, but in a pilot gig. And so I got hold of a chap called Kevin Sherris, who is the chairman of the Pilot Gig Championships and the Sillies. And I knew him from fundraising over there. And he said, no, but what we will do, we'll give you an invitation to come to the next World Pilot Gig Championship. But we're going to send you the new key to get the training. And that's what we did. So we linked up with Newquay. And that's where, then we went on to row over there, and then we eventually decided we should have our own gig, so we fundraised for that and applied for this grant and that grant and everybody else's grant. And we duly got one, and we had it built down at Devon by Ralph Bird. So Dalula is now over in Newquay. We took 45 minutes the first time we rowed on the long row. Right. I call it a long row, it's about a mile and 3/4, 2 miles, from St Agnes into St Mary's itself and Hewtown. And now we do it in 17.
Good heavens.
So we have improved a bit, haven't we?
Just a
little bit.
Yeah.
Well, they thought we were, all of a sudden they said, oh, everyone's back. And they said, no, not the blind crew are still out there. And they sent out the old boat, come and safety boat, which immediately swamped us, and we all fell off our seats. Mind you, we don't come last anymore, that's the great thing. Yeah. And 2-3 years ago, we won the bring everybody into groups. After you've done the long race, you all put into groups, according to your times. And we were always in the bottom groups, that's great. And I think there were 17 in that group that year. And we won it.
Fantastic.
We won it.
That's quite something, isn't it?
It is. We were on the podium. On the podium.
Fantastic. Opening bottles of champagne.
We were. Well, we didn't spray at anybody. We drank them.
So how many did you take on that trip then?
We only just barely took a crew. 7 we took.
All right.
We haven't got the numbers we had.
Did you take your own boat over? Or
Yeah, that's Dalula there, up there.
Yeah.
Yellow Beast.
When did you start skiing then?
I started off in about 78, 79.
Yeah. But when did the St Agnes lot start?
They started more or less the following year. I came back, I saw Alan Mitchell, and I said, I've just been on the most funniest, the best holiday I've ever had anywhere in my life. What's that? Skiing. And he said, oh, I'll try that, and he disappeared off, came back, and within a month he'd gone again.
All right.
And I think that's where he jacked up, staying with skiers.
I got a phone call one morning in the winter saying, do you know anybody who got a spare week to go skiing? And I said, well, I haven't, but I know somebody who has. And so I sent my wife, because I thought, that might work better.
Yeah.
She was a much better skiing than me. She'd been skiing since she was 4 and was very, very proficient and fearless on skis and ideal. And did a good job, I think.
Oh, she was fantastic.
Did a couple of years with you, actually.
She
Guided
did.
You.
Yeah, she did. Oh, yeah, she took me down the mountain.
Yeah, and crashed you a couple of times, I think, very cool.
No, I think I crashed, but I didn't take her out, so she was very full watching.
So how many when you went skiing as with the blind group? How many went?
Initially, when I started off, we only had 7.
But now, recently, the numbers have been up to sort of 50 odd in the party.
Yeah, that's
Friends
absolutely
and
right.
family.
Yeah, with friends and
18
family.
blind skiers last time I went, which was the year before last.
Yeah, 18.
The great equaliser on the skiing side of things is when you blindfold a new guide on the last day and say, right, clever clogs, now you try it.
And we have we have a nice little way of teaching them the best way of looking after blind people. Very quick and subtle. It's like go to the bar and buy a drink. that sort of thing, you know.
It's compulsory, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, you know, and not to mollycoddle. Anyway, we train them up. It's quite an eye opener, really, because everyone who's watching will tell you what's happening, and you know you end up laughing. And if it's a bit windy, they'll slowly turn into wind, and they won't be moving.
Because you can't tell. If the wind's in your face, you don't know whether you're moving or not.
Yeah, you can't tell.
So
And then people will just totally ignore you and just disappear off somewhere. They won't do anything. It's absolutely hilarious. It's been really great, you know. It's a very positive thing for blind people to do, and that's what I found when I came back from my first ski trip. You know, to walk down the street with a white cane was nothing. People say, you can't go to Truro I said, don't be silly, of course you can. You know, and you just got to get out there and get on with it.